For our meditation today, I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to read an interpretation of the Lord's Prayer written by my sister Jana. I'm going to read it more than once. I'll leave space between each line of the prayer and some space between each reading for your own contemplation and thoughts. We're going to have some musical background, so it allows you to think more deeply. So close your eyes if you're comfortable doing that. I'm going to ask you to take 3 deep breaths. And on the last breath, follow the exhale down into your heart space. My beloved Creator, which art in the heaven within my heart, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom of consciousness come. Thy will of love be done here on earth as it is throughout the universe. You give me this day my sustenance. Thank you, Eternal One. You bless me as I forgive myself for my errors and forgive those who err against me. You lead me not into the temptation of my unskilled behaviors, but deliver me from my fear and thoughts of separation. For mine is the kingdom of peace, the power of love, and the glorious, radiant, infinite joy that is within me now and forevermore. My beloved Creator, which art in the heaven within my heart, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom of consciousness come. Thy will of love be done here on earth as it is throughout the universe. You give me this day my sustenance. Thank you, Eternal One. You bless me as I forgive myself for my errors and forgive those who err against me. You lead me not into the temptation of my unskilled behaviors, but deliver me from my fear and thoughts of separation. For mine is the kingdom of peace, the power of love, and the glorious, radiant, infinite joy that is within me now and forevermore. Amen. Well, I've been downstairs with the Sunday school for so long, I almost forgot what the big church looks like. So I'm really happy to be here. And I am sitting here because I messed up my knee and I can hobble along. The only thing I can't do is stand. So I'm going to be sitting for this, and I appreciate that you're allowing me to. So I'm going to have you start by taking a deep breath And I want you to think about your closest friends. Now, in your mind, name those friends with whom you share a deep, meaningful connection and bond of love. These are the folks you can call on to share hard times, to express your deepest feelings, to receive honest words of wisdom and advice, or to share a full belly laugh. These are the folks where it goes both ways. They can count on you. They know you will rejoice in their good fortune and hold their hand during bad times. They can call and tell you a funny story or pour out their heart. How many people can you say there are in this inner circle of good friends? If you can name 2, you're doing all right. If you can name 4, you're doing well. And if you can name 6, you are truly blessed. Multiple scientific studies show that having close friends is critical. It can boost the immune system, increase happiness, lower stress, and contribute to longevity. Having like-minded friends who share similar beliefs boosts our connection and commitment to our spiritual routines. These friendships are often the closest because they connect to us at the deepest level of our emotional and spiritual well-being. Right now, America is experiencing an epidemic of loneliness. Dr. Christian DeWitt, psychologist at Cedarville University, says loneliness is a painful feeling of inner emptiness and intense longing for relationship. And it seems to be at an all-time high. A nationwide survey of 20,000 adults found 50% reported they were lonely. They lacked companionship, felt their relationships were not meaningful, and/or felt isolated. This means that emotionally there are feelings of inner emptiness, sadness, and restlessness. This lack of friendship may stem from a cultural expectation that friends are at the bottom of the list after romantic partner or spouse, children, other family members, work, and success. This is not true in other cultures. People of the Netherlands equate friendship, a platonic relationship, as equally important as a romantic relationship. The Survey Center on American Life and the Gallup poll say the U.S. is experiencing a friendship recession. This recession of friends has hit men more acutely than women. The percentage of men with at least 6 good friends fell by half between 1990 and 2021. Men are less likely than women to share their personal feelings and receive emotional support from friends. The center conducted a study looking at just 1 week in our lives. 41% of women reported receiving emotional support from a friend, but only 21% of men reported receiving emotional support from a friend. In the same study, 48% of women reported they had shared personal feelings with a friend. The number dropped to only 30% for men. Part of everyone's friendship recession is the fact that we lose half of our friends every 7 years. Think about it. When you moved to the Prescott area, didn't you leave behind some good friends? What about friends who moved away to be closer to their family members? Then think about friends you had at work or that seemed to fizzle out after leaving that job or retirement. There are also friends who moved out of the neighborhood to go into assisted living or to move further south out of the altitude for health reasons. Finally, there are the friends who have made their transition and are no longer with us physically. Friendship is such an important part of our well-being that we devoted the entire women's retreat to this topic. At the retreat, we spent time talking about traits we want in a close friend. Things like honesty, empathy, good listening skills, and fun to be around. Janet Quinlan showed us ways to cultivate new friendships, which is very important and seems harder to do the older we get. And if we lose half our friends every 7 years, we need to become skillful at making new friends. Colleen Eagle helped us to understand how to express our love and concern for one another using the 5 love languages developed by Gary Chapman. It was really great stuff. Personally, I learned so much, and I had a wonderful time. We began the weekend by learning about 4 different kinds of friendship, with an emphasis on the 3 different types of friendships between people. Let's start with Aristotle's 3 types of friendships. He developed this concept in 384 BCE and is still used today. It helps to think about this description as 3 circles getting ever smaller. On the outside edge are the friends of utility. These are often called casual friends. We are on friendly terms with people in the neighborhood, the clerk at the grocery store, your favorite teller at the bank, or the waitress who always gives you an extra pickle. We exchange benefits with one another. The neighbor may keep an eye on your home or water your tree while you're out of town, and you do the same for them. Most coworkers will fall into this category. At your work or in your volunteer groups, you have people you like very much. You appreciate the work that they do and think of them as a friend, yet you've never invited them to your home for dinner. The next circle in, a little closer to the heart of the matter, are friends of pleasure. These are the folks you enjoy spending time with, usually sharing in an activity. These are people you desire to see more of, and you're going to commit to spending time with them. You find friends of pleasure at a book club, a walking group, playing bridge, birding hikes, or a bowling league. While engaged in these activities, you might disclose more of your personal life. You might exchange ideas, give advice on a problem, or enjoy laughing together. People in the Friends of Pleasure group might be invited over for a backyard barbecue, or you save them a seat in the park for a fireworks display. You feel more connected to them, but maybe not really ready to share your secret fears. That's for the final circle of friends, the friends of the good, your inner circle. These friendships are most important and the most difficult to cultivate. The truth is, you may want to move a friend, a casual friend or a friend of pleasure into your inner circle, but this can be hit or miss. It may work, it may not, depending on compatibility, interests, and a commitment from both parties to devote time and energy toward a deeper friendship. These friends of the good are based on respect, appreciation of each other's qualities, a strong will to aid, assist, and rejoice with the other person. You know, some folks are good at holding your hand in a crisis, but not so excited to celebrate with you when you get a promotion, or engage in a new hobby, or even start a romantic relationship. There may be a little competition going on there, or a little bit of jealousy. But friends of the good are good for you and good to you, and with your best interest at heart. It is a reciprocal relationship of caring, sharing, and grace. Grace in a friend of the good means you accept their weird picadillos, and they accept all of yours. Grace is extending forgiveness easily and extending second chances. One of my favorite quotes is, "A friend is someone who thinks you're a good egg, even though they know you're slightly cracked." Friends of the good take time to develop. We have to be willing to invest time, empathy, compassion, support, caring, and interest. This is essentially a commitment to love. Usually it takes 80 to 100 hours of meaningful time spent together to develop this kind of friendship. Brené Brown says people have to earn the right to hear your story. I knew my friend Linda J. 3 years before I ever learned anything about her children. We had to build trust and caring to share the stories closest to our hearts. I know sometimes folks unload very personal information on you as a way to speed up the process and try to make you their very bestest friend immediately. This need for intimate friendship does not supersede time needed to grow a friend of the good. Remember, this is a commitment to love, and it doesn't happen by force. Close friends take time. You probably have some close, intimate friends. These are lasting friendships that are not impacted by moves, growing family, or physical limitations. Once a friendship of the good develops in our hearts, we can see this person once a week, every other year, or just connect through Christmas cards. Yet, as soon as you start talking on the phone or in person, it's as if no time has passed. A friendship of the good will stand the test of time. At the retreat, we sang a song by Mark Welsh. You and I are so connected. Heart to heart, a golden thread. Through it, we can feel love, love, love. Through it, we unite as one. This perfectly describes friendship of the good. It also describes a friendship with God. I know when it comes to spirituality, many people prefer a divine being that is so far beyond us, beyond even our ability to comprehend. Others feel most comfortable with oneness with the divine. Some still experience God as other and touch or share space in ecstatic experiences, but not on an everyday basis. There are others who meditate daily to build and hold that connection to oneness. In all of these wonderful practices, God is spirit, or essence, or energy, or something else. And I agree that the divine is all these things, and God is also personal. In Unity, we have 5 principles. Aaron McGaughan wrote a 5 principles song in Unity of Seattle, and these are the song words. God is good, good in everyone. A thought can turn your water into wine. Prayer and meditation make it easy to feel, but you gotta walk the talk to make it real. I think cultivating a friendship with God is about principle 4, daily prayer and meditation, because that makes it feel real. And principle 5, action. You've gotta walk the talk to make it real. My sister Jana was a practitioner in the Center for Spiritual Living for over 20 years. She had a deep and a dividing devotion to daily prayer and meditation. She experienced the divine as both omniscient, all-powerful, and omnipresent. God is everywhere at once. But it also means omnipresent is close to me, in my heart, and close to you, in your heart. Now, God's presence is continuous, though it may be revealed differently to each person. Jana created prayers shared with others that emphasized God is not just out there, beyond, essence, but right here. In one of her prayers, she says, "In you I speak and give voice to my secret dreams as I listen to your still small voice. I surrender my past and live in the now, always open to embrace joy. In you I celebrate, drink, dance, and swim in the ocean of love. Sweet, salty stream of brilliant beauty, you flow in and through and all around me. In you I surrender to that which is allowing all goodness to infuse every cell of my being. I am a crystal clear vessel for your light. I radiate the divine ecstasy in me as me. Now and forevermore, I rest in thee." The last line always gets me. I rest in thee. I find comfort in imagining the presence of God all around me and gently holding me up so I can relax and feel taken care of. That last line captures for me how to make the divine both omnipresent everywhere, but omnipresent right here as well. So how do we go creating a friendship with God? Julie Beck writes the Friendship Files for the Atlantic. In a series of research articles, she talks about many different aspects of friendship. And she shares there are 6 forces that fuel friendships of the good. These same forces create a friendship with God. She speaks of accumulation, attention, intention, ritual, imagination, and grace. Miss Beck was the one who uncovered the research that it takes 80 to 100 hours of time invested in a relationship to take it from a casual friend or a friend of pleasure to a friend of the good. This is called accumulation. We must put in the time, spend the time thinking about, contemplating, welcoming God as our friend. You may make a commitment to spend time with God as a friend, not just as a superior force in the universe. Beck also says that we must pay attention. When you feel a click of awareness or appreciation of what God is or what God has done, hold on to it. Savor it. Don't be too quick to say, "Oh, what a beautiful morning. God has created all of this. It's so gorgeous," and immediately go on about your day. Savor the awareness of a God that is omnipresent, including present in your life. When we cultivate a good friend, we do it with intention. When I was a beginning teacher, I had to find ways to make money during the summer. For several years, I taught summer school. In our district, there was only one middle school that had summer school each year. So I was teaching with middle school teachers from all across the district. And we got to know each other in the lunchroom. In my second year, I met a teacher from a neighboring middle school named Jean Davis. She was a brilliant mathematician with the rare gift of also being able to teach math. She could explain things so that our struggling students could comprehend and become proficient. We are very different. For example, I was from Southern California, and she was from Huntsville, Alabama. We also had much in common. Teaching was a second career for both of us. She made me laugh until my sides ached. After 5 weeks of lunchtime banter, I knew I wanted this friendship of utility to grow into a friendship of pleasure and eventually a friendship of the good. So in the lunchroom in our final week of summer school, I bucked up my courage and I asked for her telephone number so we could make plans to get together after summer school. She was delighted, and we gradually did become friends of the good. Believe it or not, you must also intentionally cultivate friendship with God. Acknowledge you want a more personal, more intimate relationship with the divine. After intention comes ritual. That is the commitment to meet and spend time on a regular basis. This is not just a commitment for daily prayer and meditation. It is a commitment to nurture a more personal and intimate relationship with God. Do you tell God your secrets? Do you pour out your desires and dreams? Do you listen intently for God to whisper in your ear the advice you need? Keeping God as omnipresent elsewhere also keeps God away from you personally. So it's going to take imagination to prioritize a different kind of relationship with God. You may have to imagine sitting there for coffee, or having a walk together, or just being quiet and dwelling in each other's presence. Finally, grace. Grace in a friendship of the good means that when we act like humans and disappoint or hurt each other, or we allow the friendship to be disrupted, we forgive each other. We offer a way to repair and renew the friendship. But grace in a friendship with God means something different. Grace is what we give to ourselves when we uncover a false belief or an untrue and hurtful story we have been telling ourselves. We extend love compassion and forgiveness to ourselves. Grace gives us the strength to accept truth, to develop new behaviors, and to be kind to ourselves. So now I'm going to give you some homework because you're used to that. First, I want you to reach out to your friends of the good and thank them for your years of friendship. Reach out to your friends of the good and thank them for years of friendship. Next, I want you to think about if you want to cultivate a personal, intimate, and present relationship and friendship with God. You may be very comfortable with your current spiritual practice and experience the divine as spirit, as essence, as omnipresent everywhere and beyond. But I want you to consider expanding your experience of God to include a friendship of the omnipresent right here in your heart. Blessings upon you. Amen.